Right now, you feel stationary. You might be sitting in a chair, lying in bed, or standing on solid ground. The air is still. The room is quiet. To your senses, the world is anchored and immovable. But your senses are lying to you. At this exact moment, the Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. It is orbiting the Sun at 67,000 miles an hour. And the Sun itself is circling the center of the Milky Way at a staggering 500,000 miles an hour. We accept these motions. We understand orbits. But there is another motion, a darker, more violent speed that shouldn't exist. Astronomers have discovered that our entire galaxy, along with millions of other galaxies, is being dragged through the universe at over 1 million miles per hour. We are not drifting aimlessly. We are being pulled. We are rushing headlong toward a specific point in deep space. Here is the terrifying part: we cannot see what is pulling us. When we look toward our destination, our view is blocked by the thick dust and gas of our own galaxy. We are rushing blindly into the dark, caught in the gravitational grip of something colossal. Something so massive it bends the fabric of space-time across hundreds of millions of light-years. We call it the Great Attractor. What if everything we know about the structure of the universe is wrong? What if the expansion of the cosmos is being overpowered by a titan we cannot see? Today, we journey through evidence that challenges everything we know about our place in the dark. Prepare yourselves. We begin. The story of this cosmic mystery begins not with a telescope looking at a star, but with a thermometer taking the temperature of the universe. In the 1960s, astronomers discovered the cosmic microwave background, or CMB. This is the afterglow of the Big Bang, a faint hum of radiation that fills every corner of space. In theory, this background temperature should be perfectly uniform. No matter where you look, the heat left over from the creation of the universe should be exactly the same. But in the 1970s, astronomers noticed something disturbing. When they measured the CMB, it wasn't uniform. One side of the sky was slightly warmer than average, and the exact opposite side was slightly cooler. This is known as a dipole anisotropy. Think of it like driving a car through the rain. The front windshield gets wet because you are driving into the rain, while the rear window stays relatively dry. The warmer side of the universe was the direction we were moving into. The radiation was being blue-shifted, compressed by our motion. This was the first smoking gun. It proved that Earth, the Sun, and the entire Milky Way were moving through intergalactic space at an astonishing speed, roughly 600 kilometers per second. This presented a massive problem for physics. In a universe that began with the Big Bang, everything should be flying apart from everything else. The expansion of the universe pushes galaxies away from one another. We shouldn't be rushing toward anything with such focus. To generate a speed of 600 kilometers per second, you need gravity. Immense gravity. To pull a galaxy as large as the Milky Way, which contains hundreds of billions of stars and huge amounts of dark matter, you need a gravitational source equivalent to tens of thousands of galaxies. So, astronomers looked in the direction of our motion. They pointed their telescopes toward the constellations of Hydra and Centaurus to see what monster was reeling us in. They saw nothing. Or rather, they saw the Zone of Avoidance. This is the area of the sky obscured by the Milky Way's own plane. Thick clouds of interstellar dust and gas block visible light, creating a blind spot in our map of the universe. We were moving at 1,000,000 miles an hour toward a wall we couldn't see through. We knew something titanic was there, something defying the expansion of the universe, but it was hidden behind the curtain of our own galaxy. But the evidence forces us to confront an uncomfortable possibility: we are not the masters of our orbit. We are flotsam in a river, caught in a current we cannot see, flowing toward a waterfall we cannot stop. The Zone of Avoidance blinded our optical telescopes, but gravity cannot be hidden. Gravity does not care about dust. It reaches through the dark, pulling on everything it touches. In the late 1980s, a group of astronomers known as the Seven Samurai began a monumental task. If they couldn't see the Great Attractor directly, they would map the motion of every galaxy around it. They discovered a phenomenon called peculiar velocity. Every galaxy participates in the Hubble flow, the general expansion of the universe. But when you subtract that expansion, you are left with the galaxy's true, independent motion. The Seven Samurai found that it wasn't just the Milky Way. The Andromeda galaxy was moving. The Virgo cluster was moving. Hundreds of millions of light-years of space were all streaming in the same direction. Imagine pouring a bucket of water onto a flat table. The water spreads out in a circle. That is the Hubble flow. Now, imagine tipping the table. The water still spreads, but the entire puddle slides toward the edge. That is what we were seeing. They calculated that the mass required to generate this flow was roughly equivalent to tens of thousands of Milky Ways, all concentrated in one region. They pinpointed the location to a spot roughly 150 to 250 million light-years away. Finally, radio telescopes, which can penetrate the dust of the Milky Way, began to peer into the zone of avoidance. They found the Norma cluster, a massive swarm of galaxies. For a moment, scientists thought the mystery was solved. We were falling toward the Norma cluster. But this represents just one piece of a much larger puzzle. The calculations didn't add up. The Norma cluster was massive, yes, but when they weighed it, it was only about 1/10 of the mass needed to explain our speed. The Norma cluster was just a buoy bobbing in the water. The real current was coming from something much further out. As we moved into the 21st century, the mystery deepened. With better instruments, like X-ray observatories that could spot the superheated gas between galaxies, we began to see the true scale of the structure. The Great Attractor wasn't just a dense knot of galaxies. It was the focal point of a gravitational valley. In 2014, a team led by astronomer Brent Tully used the collected data of thousands of galaxy motions to redraw the map of the universe. They stopped looking at where galaxies were and started looking at where they were going. They realized that the universe is structured like a watershed. Think of the geography of North America. If a drop of rain falls on one side of the continental divide, it flows to the Pacific. If it falls on the other, it flows to the Atlantic. Tully and his team found these cosmic divides. They traced the flow of gravity across 500 million light-years. They discovered that our Milky Way, the Andromeda galaxy, the Virgo cluster, and hundreds of other groups were all part of a single, flowing system. A supercluster of galaxies far larger than anything we had imagined. They named this supercluster Laniakea, Hawaiian for immeasurable heaven. Here is the chilling implication: the Great Attractor is the gravitational center of Laniakea. It is the downtown of our cosmic city. It is the bottom of the valley. Every galaxy in our corner of the universe, over 100,000 of them, is trickling down the gravity well toward this central point. The evidence extends beyond just a local anomaly into the realm of cosmic architecture. We are not living in a static structure. We are living inside a flowing organism, and we are sliding toward its heart. But even Laniakea wasn't enough. As our measurements became more precise, scientists noticed something even more unsettling. The Great Attractor, the heart of Laniakea, is pulling us. But the Great Attractor itself is moving. It is being pulled by something else. This forces us to reconsider fundamental assumptions about the texture of the universe. If you look far past the Great Attractor, 650 million light-years away, you find the Shapley Supercluster. The Shapley Supercluster is a monster. It is the largest concentration of galaxies in our nearby universe. It contains more than 8,000 galaxies and has a mass 10 million billion times that of our Sun. The Great Attractor, it turns out, is not the final destination. It is merely a bend in the river. We are falling toward the Great Attractor, and the Great Attractor is falling toward Shapley. It is a cascade of gravity, a Russian nesting doll of giants pulling on giants. Leading cosmologists now view these structures not as isolated islands, but as a cosmic web. Filaments of dark matter connect these clusters, and galaxies flow along the filaments like cars on a highway at night, all heading toward the brightest cities. This changes our understanding of home. We are not just residents of Earth, or the solar system, or the Milky Way. We are citizens of a flowing stream of matter, stretching nearly 1 billion light-years across the void. What lies beyond Shapley? Some measurements suggest a phenomenon called dark flow, a movement of galaxy clusters across the entire observable universe toward a point beyond the horizon of what we can see. Some theories even suggest this could be the tug of a neighboring universe, pressing against our own. Recent breakthroughs suggest we are on the verge of mapping this entire hidden zone. New radio telescopes, like the Square Kilometre Array, SKA, will soon be able to peel back the layers of the zone of avoidance completely. We are building maps of the universe that show not light, but gravity. We are seeing the skeleton of the cosmos. These future observations matter because they tell us about the beginning of time. These massive structures, Laniakea, Shapley, took billions of years to form. They are the fossils of the Big Bang. By measuring how fast we are falling, we can weigh the universe. We can calculate how much dark matter must exist to hold these rivers together. But as we look at the scale of these attractors, we realize they are locked in a war. A war between the gravity that pulls us together, and the expansion that tears us apart. The most profound implications emerge when we consider the fate of this journey. We are rushing toward the Great Attractor at 600 kilometers per second. It is a journey of hundreds of millions of light-years. Will we ever arrive? Will the Milky Way eventually crash into this dense knot of galaxies and merge into a chaotic new form? The answer, tragically, is no. While gravity is pulling us together, dark energy is accelerating the expansion of the universe. Space is being created between us and the attractor faster than we can travel through it. We are running on a treadmill. We are sprinting toward the Great Attractor, but the floor is moving beneath us. In a few billion years, the expansion of the universe will likely tear Laniakea apart. The Great Attractor will recede from view. The Shapley Supercluster will fade into the black. We are witnessing a fleeting moment in cosmic history where these structures are visible and connected. We are seeing the flow of the river just before the drought dries it up. 56:00. This leads to a paradoxical realization. We are defined by a destination we can never reach. Our galaxy's motion, its history, and its future are dictated by a monster in the dark that will eventually be ripped away from us by the death of the universe itself. We are caught in a cosmic tug-of-war between the gravity that binds us and the nothingness that isolates us. And eventually, the nothingness will win. We began with a feeling of stillness. We end with a realization of velocity. We have learned that our galaxy is not an island, but a drop of water in a cosmic ocean, caught in a current called Laniakea. We have learned that invisible giants, the Great Attractor, the Shapley Supercluster, are orchestrating the dance of millions of galaxies across the void. We have peeled back the zone of avoidance to find that the dark is not empty. It is full of gravity, full of structure, and full of mystery. While we may never reach the Great Attractor, the discovery of its existence proves that we are capable of seeing beyond our own backyard. We can feel the tug of the invisible. We can map the rivers of the night. The universe is a flowing, moving, living thing. And for a brief moment in eternity, we are awake to see the current. The universe is vast. The mysteries are endless. The journey continues.